All right. This is my brother's really ghetto band mic. All right. Okay, so let's start hopping in. What time is it? 2:14 or 2:15? I got until 2:45, so half an hour. Let me take a look. All right, Alex. Alex asked, do you like platforms like Pexda? I actually don't know what that is. Let me take a look. Hunt winning products. Alex, I haven't really used this. I'm sure it's fine for finding products. The thing about products is I don't really look for just winning products. I look at the markets first and the niches, and then I look at what they're already buying, and then I sell that to them, right? So a lot of people, they'll look at the products and be like, all right, I think this will sell, right? That's not the way I think about it. The way I think about it is I think about markets and niches, and I'll think about the product. The reason is you have a much harder time selling to, guessing which product is going to sell rather than selling people what they're already buying, right? So that's just the way I look at it. That's why I don't like these winning product websites like Pexda or whatever, because it's just distractions for me. Brandon Tilley, YouTube is getting hard for small channels. Good luck. I like it to help support you. I'm a YouTuber. I do funny VR gaming, have green screen, cam, mic, and everything. It's pretty funny. Yeah, man, I'm not really worried about being too small right now. A bunch of people keep messaging me saying I should have more subs. The truth is, I have a lot of stuff to share, and I'm pretty confident that the channel will grow nicely over the next few months here. Well, end of year, I want to get to about 100,000 subs, and I really think I can do it. Just have confidence in your channel, man. I'll check out your channel, Brandon Tilley. Let's see what you got going on here. Mark it for later. All right, next question. Eisenboy Will. Products with less sales but higher profit margin, or more sales and less profit margin? So if I'm doing just straight drop shipping, like if I'm just testing new products and that kind of stuff, I always like to go with the higher profit margin. The reason is there's just so much more logistics and all that when you're selling $1,000 or 1,000 units of a product where you have like $5 to $10 margin, rather than like, a tenth of that when your margins are like $50 per sale, right? That's why I like high profit margin products. It's very easy to find those type of things. You just have to look at it when you look at AliExpress, or you look at products, or wherever you're looking, Amazon or whatever. Just think about what the normal price is that people are used to paying for it. So, like hoodies, you can find hoodies on AliExpress for like $15. People pay $60 to $80 for those, right? Watches, people pay like $80 and up for those. Some people pay like for Rolexes, like $50,000, right? So just think about what people are used to paying a lot of money for. And then when you are looking for your products, you can just look for those type of high value things. It's as simple as that. There's no like website that's going to teach you how to find high margin products. Just think about use your common sense and think about what people already spend a lot of money on that has a high perceived value. And then when you're in AliExpress or whatever, like dhgate.com or wherever you're looking for your products, just think about that when you're looking at the things that you see. So like personally, things that I've sold that with a high profit margin: sunglasses, watches, hoodies, even like boots, canvas prints. Those are things that I've sold with like, at least $25 and up, right? Demo Vicious, how much do you hate the word saturated? I don't really believe in saturation, man. Like, I just believe in what is the word for it? I don't want to insult people, but if you're someone that's saying that something's saturated, that means that you have no creativity. Like you don't think outside the box, right? Because things aren't saturated. You just have to find a new way to tackle it. Like people, when they're running their Facebook ads, they say, oh, my cost per purchase is too high. Now I have a losing ad set. Well, you know how you get that up? It doesn't mean it's saturated. If you're breaking even on the ad set, the simplest thing you can do is add in an upsell, right? And you're instantly in the profit again once people start buying. So I don't really believe in saturation too much. Just think outside the box. Salmon Kid, my pie keeps getting smaller and smaller. I don't know what you're referring to there, but sounds a little weird. P. Weavy, how do you know when to start outsourcing jobs? So as soon as I start doing things more than once, like 3 or 4 times actually, that's when I outsource it. So let's say like order fulfillment, right? If you've been doing your own orders for like a month, then you should already be outsourcing that. Like after like 2 times, I don't really like to do things again if it's repetitive, like mindless work. I try to outsource things right away. And I have like 2 VAs that I've worked with that I've built like a pretty good relationship with over the past, like the whole time I've been doing drop shipping at least. And I can just basically give them all my tasks. So they answer my emails, they answer the phone, they do order fulfillment, they answer all the comments and stuff on my Facebook page. And the cool thing about outsourcing is once you find a good VA or a good like employee, basically, they're gonna have a lot of friends, right? And my VAs are from the Philippines. That I suggest you look there because there's a lot of good workers in the Philippines. But they have a lot of friends, and that's how I found my second and third VAs, was because they were a friend of the first one. So I pay them around $350 an hour, and they do basically everything. Kyle Y, can you do an in-depth video of setting up lookalikes when you have time? Yeah, I'll see what I can do about that. The reason that's hard is because I have to use like I have to use the data in like an existing ad account, because then the lookalikes need some kind of pixel data, and I don't want to like go into my ads manager and show all my stuff. So we'll see what I can do about that. I'll take a look. Alex asked, how do you go further after testing, for example, magazines, pages, websites, etc. on Facebook, and only some of them worked? Do you combine them together? Check out my part 4 Facebook ads for Shopify mini series, Alex, and then also check out the 0 to 64,000 video. Those go into my scaling techniques. Basically, the idea is I set up all these interest groups, magazines, pages, websites, and most of them don't work, right? Most of them are just like breaking even. The whole point of that is just for me to get as much data from Facebook around who's clicking, who's adding to cart, who's hopefully purchasing, and using that data to create more powerful ad sets with like lookalikes, right? So that's just my objective. Like I'm usually only using interest for like a couple weeks, and then I move to lookalikes, right? At the most. Lyra. Hey, Sean, how you doing? What do you think about print on demand? Is it better than drop shipping from AliExpress? Okay, guys, there's no one thing is better than the other, right? They all work. Okay, so just pick one of these things and stick to it until you're doing like $1,000 a day. Okay, so until you're doing $1,000 a day, just stick to one thing, right? I have people who always ask like, oh, I have 3 print on demand designs, and I have 20 AliExpress products, and then I have a funnel over here, and I have a landing page here. Just focus on like one thing and perfect it first, or not perfect it, but get really good at it where you're doing at least consistent numbers before you try all these different things, right? So print on demand, the thing that's better about it than AliExpress is it's obviously the designs are usually unique, right? It's unique to you. The downside is you have to spend more money to test because of the designs. You have to hire people to make designs for you, and you can't see like the order history because it's a brand new design from you, right? Unless you ripped it off from someone, which I wouldn't suggest. But that's the downside to print on demand. The upside is if you find something that works, fulfillment is pretty much a breeze. and it's harder to rip off, right? So that's the upside. It just depends what you want to do. I started with print on demand actually, and I got up to like maybe $250 to like $500 a day. And I just hated paying for so many designs. I was paying like $20 a design just to test. So I would crank out like maybe, 5 to 7 designs, and then I'd have to spend a lot more money testing those, right? So instead of that, I use drop shipping from AliExpress, and that helps me to validate products quicker. And then I can create, sales funnels, e-commerce funnels around what works in drop shipping and I can white label that with my own brand, right? All right, Dr. Axie asked, are there any Shopify courses you recommend that you feel is worth buying? There's a lot of good courses out there. I actually learned just from paying someone like a few grand to learn from them one-on-one. It was like the best investment I've ever made, just paying them that much. Would you guys be interested in a course? Like if I made something, I actually released a course earlier this year with 2 other pretty big marketers. You might know them if I said their name, but I don't want to say their name right now. Would you guys be interested if I made a course, like a beginner course, advanced course? What would you guys be interested in? And what would you want to see? Because I can do that. Andy Mai, tips on training VAs from Fiverr and Upwork to answer all types of customer service questions. Yeah, so what you're going to do is, like I said, once you are like getting some orders in the door and you're starting to get emails, hire someone on Upwork immediately, okay? And what you're going to ask them to do is you're going to ask them to make a list of all the questions that come up more than once, okay? So a lot of the most basic questions that are going to come up a lot are like tracking, like where's my order? Things like where do I return? Like what's the return policy? What's the return process? What else? It's mostly around the emails that I get is mostly around returns and tracking. Okay, so just make a list of all the types of questions that you get. Have your VA do this, and then what you're going to do is just create answers like in a template that your VA can copy and paste, right? And it's just common sense, guys. Like, just think about when you order from an online store or just a regular department store, what is their typical reply to you when you ask these type of questions, right? I'm not saying you have to have the same policies, but there's tons of templates that you can just model online just from all these other stores, right? Shari man, thanks, Sean. Lots of content. You're giving a lot more to the universe. Oh, you're welcome. Salmon Kid, how did you find the VAs? So just go into Upwork. I like to set the success percentage to 90% and up. I also like to set the amount of hours worked to at least 100 hours and up. And then I just created a job posting, and like I'm part Filipino, and I know that Filipinos are pretty loyal people. I know how they work, their work ethic. So I kind of got a little racist, and I set the country to Philippines because I want to hire someone from there. And I found one person that did really well, and then she just hired her friends from there, or she brought her friends on. So it's as simple as that, right? Don't overcomplicate this kind of stuff. It's really as simple as, hey, this is what I need. I need someone to do this. There's the settings in Upwork make it easy to filter out the people that are going to be, shitheads, and just, hire someone that looks good, that has a good success rating, and that has some reviews and hours worked. Kyle Y, do you recommend using themes like Booster or Shoptimize to increase conversions? Also, what apps do you use to increase upselling? Kyle, so don't get too stuck up on the themes. I used minimal theme for basically the entire time until I sold. I just sold my first store that I ever opened. And that store generated over $1 million. And it was just using minimal theme the entire time. Okay. So yes, I would, if you want to, install a theme to increase conversions, do that once you have some sales in. Don't worry about this kind of stuff now. Worry about stuff that's revenue generating, right? Installing a theme is not going to generate your revenue. Running ads is, testing, that's what's going to generate your revenue. So focus on that stuff first. Once you have data, then you can compare that with a new theme that you install. A little note: I've heard bad reviews about Shoptimize, so I wouldn't go with that. Also, what apps do you use to increase upselling? So I use CartHook, which is kind of expensive. That's $300 a month. But there's a cheaper option. There's an app called One Click Upsell by Ezra Firestone. I just don't use it because I don't like the interface. It's a little wonky for me, but maybe they've improved it. Have all my upselling within there, and I'll make a video about that probably in the future once I have more consistent statistics to share. Alex, how much ad sets do you set up for a product? So watch my scaling videos, man. It's usually around 3 to 5 ad sets if I'm testing, and it's the interest groups, right? So I explain it all in the 0 to 64,000 video and also the part 4 video. Axe 1337. Starting out, would you recommend any specific free theme, or is it worth the investment for a paid one straight up before making consistent sales? Just stick with something that's free in the beginning. Okay, if you don't have sales, don't spend money on things like themes. Spend money on your ads. So my personal favorite out of the free themes was minimal theme. That's what I used. Asian boy Will, have you tried Etsy for drop shipping or Pinterest or even Snapchat? Nope. I've done AliExpress, I've done Alibaba, I've done DHgate as well. I'll actually make a video about some of the other places that I've looked at for drop shipping more like higher ticket items, like usually in like the $200 plus range. Andy, what is your scaling method? 5, 10, 20, 50, $100 increased budget. Andy, check out my scaling videos, man. It's all in there. I explain all this stuff. George, 25% per day. Yeah, that's one of the methods that I use. Yep. Alex, lookalikes. Which percentage lookalikes do you use? I go all the way up to 10%. So I have, an ad set for 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%. You don't have to start with those all the way in the beginning. But you just do what your budget permits, right? And when I'm going up, so like let's say I'm using a 2% lookalike, I exclude the 1% so they don't overlap. George Boss, yep, that's right, all of them. Yep, love your mentality, George. No guarantee which one will work, just test them all. Yeah, guys, understand, okay, Facebook is weird, right? Like one day sales could be good, the next day it can be bad, right? If a guru tells you, I know the answer to why it's doing that, they don't know, okay? It's just, marketing is the right message to the right person at the right time, right? It could just be a bad day, right? People might not be spending that day. I'm not a guru, right? I can't tell you why Facebook is good one day and one day the bad day the next. That's just the way it is sometimes, That's why I focus more on things that I control, like my upsells, my backend, my emails. Those are the things that bring me money, right? And if I focused all the time on Facebook, I would always be depressed. Seriously. Andy, what is the easiest method to track daily profits after ad spend, product costs, VAs costs, PayPal and Stripe fees, and other costs? There's an app I use called Order Metrics. I just have my VA log a lot of this stuff at the end of the week, usually. But Order Metrics is good for tracking this kind of thing, for tracking these kind of things. I can't remember how much it costs. Let me look. Metrics. let me pop it in here real quick. Okay, you guys are saying advanced course. P. Weavy and Kyle and Salmon Kid, are you guys all getting sales? And what would you guys want to see in an advanced course? Cool, cool. Let me move down to these questions here. But yeah, let me know what kind of stuff you guys want to see. In the last year, this is probably going to blow your guys' mind, but I've spent, I think I calculated it. I spent about $51,000 on going to masterminds, meetups, high-end, like high-level masterminds, one-on-one coaching, all types of stuff, right? Like I paid so much money because I knew it was going to pay off this year. So this year we're set up for some big numbers. And I have a lot of things to share. So if you guys want a course on something, then, I'm happy to make one as long as it makes sense, as long as there's demand. Lyra, how to get good interest for Facebook ads. Watch, I think it's part 2 or part 1 of my Facebook ads for Shopify mini series. Goes all into interest for Facebook. Asian boy Will, what is the most realistic amount you've seen other people make for an average dropshipper? I know anything is possible, but just from what you've seen. Okay, dude, there's no average, all right? The truth is you make what you want, okay? So get this. My mom and my brother, I taught them last year how to do exactly what I'm doing. They still have 9-to-5 jobs, and they made over $500,000, okay? So my mom and my brother can do it, then, it's anyone can basically do it. No one has excuses, okay? You can make whatever you want. And right now they're working on a beauty business with some sales funnels, all e-commerce still. And I guarantee you they're going to be doing 7 figures by the end of this year, at the very least. But yeah, there's no average, man. If I gave you average, it'd all be skewed because a lot of the people I talk to now, they're not really beginners. They're usually people that are doing 7 figures plus a month, Andy, what is the best way to split test? If you want to try a different link to test another landing page, price, add to cart button, color, etc., do you need to create a brand new ad and lose all the social proof? So there's landing page apps you can use. That's kind of why I like ClickFunnels, because they have a split testing feature in there. There's also apps called Visual Website Optimizer, and then I think Zipify Pages by Ezra Firestone does that too. So let me pop that in here. And basically, you don't really have to change your ad. It just has to go. It has to go to a link. And the way these apps work is the link will show like one page 50% of the time, and the other page another 50% of the time. So if you want to split test, you can do that. Alex, you go straight with purchase conversion pixel, right? Which experiences have you made with add to cart? I mentioned this in another video. I haven't really found consistent like advantages to either. I'm just I just test as much as I can. I go pretty aggressive with the testing and scaling. The people that are doing like $5 a day budgets and they only test like 1 interest at a time, they just move a lot slower. And I throw all of it at the wall at once, and I see which ones work pretty fast, and then I cut the ones that don't work. So for purchase and add to cart, I can't say one's consistently pulled the other. They've both done pretty well for me at times. P. Weavy, I've literally just been hardcore studying. Your information has helped so much. Yeah, man. Make sure that you're not just studying though, right? Make sure that you're actually doing the stuff. Okay, so the downside with like free information, the stuff that I share on YouTube, is the reality is like 99% of the people who watch my videos are not going to do anything with it, right? And that just goes with basically any type of free information, right? Free information, people don't value it as much because it's free, right? They think, oh, it's not as valuable as something that I pay like $1,000 for. So that's why I like to pay a lot of money when I want to know something. I always just go straight to the person and I pay them like thousands of dollars just to pick their brain, right? I like one-on-one coaching. I like being on the inside because when I pay for something, when I pay that much money, I actually take action on it, right? I'm just like a lot of you guys. If I get something free, I usually don't do much with it, honestly. So if you're consuming this information and you find it really valuable, don't just say it's valuable. Make sure you're taking action. Andy Mai, how often do you buy bulk in winning products and ship them to a fulfillment center in the US for faster shipping times and cheaper product costs? Have you ever worried the product will die out? So I've only done that a couple times. What I do now is I basically just I sell health supplements, right? I sell health products. I sell shakes and stuff like that too. And I use USA manufacturers for those. They plug right into my Shopify store or my Shopify backend. So it's basically just like drop shipping, except you have better shipping times. It's automated fulfillment basically. Excuse me. But my point is, the reason I like health supplements is because it's an evergreen niche, right? Like people are always going to have health issues. People are always going to want to be healthier. People are always going to want to improve some aspect of maybe like their focus, their energy, their gut health. So that's the kind of niches that I pick. That's why I never worry about the product dying out, because I know these markets never die out, right? People are never going to stop having brain issues or gut issues. Like other niches that are not health, like survival, that kind of like outdoor kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys know Trey Llewellyn. He does like guns and gun supplies. Maybe that's not a good example because that's high risk. But think about like, I made a video on this too. If you look on one of my older videos, I like to look for things that I can sell recurring, like over month after month. Maybe there's some kind of information I can sell around it, and as well as physical products, right? And products that have, or markets that have worldwide appeal. That way, I'm never worrying about trends or seasonal products or things that are dying out. So if you're going to ship in bulk, that's what I would recommend doing. Like look at like beauty niche, look at like fashion, look at things where products are going to be here in a few years, right? It's not just a big spike and like a fidget spinner or something, right? That's just my opinion. I don't like trendy products. I like things that are tried and proven and will be around forever. Kyle Y, how many stores do you have? How many general stores, niche stores, and branded stores? So I have I have my health supplement funnel and store. I have a general store, and then I have a niche store. So I guess 3 total. Yeah. And the general store, which is the one that you guys have been seeing like my videos about, the one that I've been showing videos about, that was actually just like a test store just for testing like certain markets that I wanted to get into. I was just testing it and I just ended up taking off, right? So sometimes that's going to happen. And and that just worked out well for me. So I can't really say, if you're going to ask like which one works best, general, niche, or branded stores, I have one of each, right? So the long-term goal is obvious in the health supplements. I would like to get that to 5 million plus by end of year, and branded store is in a very, very deep evergreen niche, right? And it's going to be around forever. So that's where most of my focus is going to be. Just luckily for me, fortunately, that general store that I just started in December has been taking off. So that's kind of like funding my branded store. So if I were to give a recommendation, I would say to start off with a general or niche store, and then move into branded once you have something that's working. All right, guys, I have 2 to 3 minutes. So Axe, on a fresh pixel while testing the products, do you recommend starting off with PPE ads or view content add to cart purchase? I always start with the add to cart purchase objective. Dan Will, have you ever revealed your winning products? I revealed one of them. I think the video was called Weird AliExpress product made like $300,000 or something. So that was one of them. Maybe I'll reveal another one soon, but George Boss, have you ever used Twitter to advertise? No, I have not. I have been using Google, YouTube, Display Network, those things, but I haven't done Twitter yet. Alex, there are a lot of dropshipping pros out there on YouTube, and each of them uses a different method. One does 20 a day with one ad set, or 20 ad sets each, $3 a day. But who's right? Alex, again, there's no, like I said, if a guru tells you they know exactly how the Facebook algorithm works and like what's going to work exactly every single time, they're straight up lying to you. Okay, so no one really understands fully why sales go up and down. That's just the way it is. Okay, and the methods that people teach you might be stuff that's worked for them. I show you exactly what's worked for me, what I use, what I've taught my mom and brother. That's what I use. So you can go ahead and try it, or you can try what someone else does. What someone else does. So there's no one right answer. I'm sure there's, just like with a lot of things, there's a lot of answers for to come to the same conclusion or the same outcome. I just teach you guys what exactly I'm doing. Okay, I can't really comment on what everyone else is doing. Nick, do you use a lot of AdWords? Yeah, I'm starting to. So the way I'm doing it now is I'm actually migrating a lot of my stuff off of Facebook. My cold traffic, so for AdWords and Display Network and YouTube and native ads, I'm actually getting super cheap clicks on those, and I'm just retargeting on Facebook. So I'm getting maybe 10 cents to 40-cent clicks off of Facebook, and I'm just retargeting on Facebook now. But on my that's for my health supplements. On my general store that you guys are seeing the screenshots from, that's still using heavily Facebook, because that's more it's video ads. It's more like viral type products. But for my long-term brand, I'm using AdWords and Google and that kind of stuff more. Alex, but how to fix this jumping from one to another and getting confused from all these strategies, especially for beginners? Alex, just pick someone that you trust. Pick someone that you trust and just follow them. Okay. Don't take 10 pieces from 10 different guys and combine it into one. Okay. Fine. If you want to take a course, just take someone's course and stick to it, and set a budget that you're going to spend and use, and just dedicate your time to implementing. All right. Andy, do you use Oberlo for AliExpress dropshipping, or do you send CSV files for your suppliers? I use Dropified. All right, guys, I'm going to cut off the questions soon. But let's see. Asian Boy Will, if you make 1 million net sales in a year, for example, how much do you take? How much go back into ads? So generally, my profit is usually around 35 to 45%. And I just got killed in taxes because I didn't know what I was doing yet. I still had a job in September 2016, and I didn't have a CPA. I didn't have my business set up right yet, so I got killed on taxes. I got taxed 40% of my take home, so it was well into 300,000. Carl Feldman, you ever use Google Shopping ads, and what do you think on high ticket products? I haven't yet. Nope, so I can't comment on that. Elias, I like this guy's hat. Oh, thanks, man. It's my school hat. Go Cougs. Yep. George, my take home is around 35 to 45%. So last year I generated about 1.4 million. Nick Lake, could you say that a good product description is vital? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So here's the two things that I spend most of my time learning that I think are the highest impact, high value things that I need to learn in order to be successful long-term. So one is copywriting. Okay. Copywriting, basically words that sell, getting people, getting in the heads of your prospects, the psychology of it, why people buy, and being able to write words around and messaging around getting like their problems and their solutions and getting them to make a purchase or take an action, right? Sorry, there's a fly in here. But copywriting is one. The second is traffic, right? I think those two things, if you know traffic and you know copywriting, you're gonna make money forever, right? So that's why I focus on those two things. I don't focus on just Facebook ads. I focus on traffic. Notice I said that. So like Facebook's just an ad platform. There's lots of them out there, right? There's SEO, there's Google AdWords, there's Google Display, there's YouTube. There's all kinds of traffic sources. Facebook is just one of them. So I'm not saying to learn all these at once, but if you're not getting consistent success on Facebook, test out another ad platform, right? George F. Fuck yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. Good product description is definitely vital. Asian boy Will. Also, how do you get 1 cent per engagement on Facebook ads? Just cheaper clicks in general. I don't focus on cost per engagement. I focus on what the cost per, like what action I want them to take, which is getting them to buy, right? That's what I mainly focus on. Kyle, do you source your supplement store from AliExpress or American suppliers? Those you don't want to mess. If you're doing health supplements, that's like a whole different ball game, man. I wouldn't recommend doing it if you if you're inexperienced in that or with drop shipping, because there's regulations and all that kind of stuff. I don't source that from AliExpress. They're from GMP certified facilities in America. George Boss, goddamn, all spot on. Yeah, you were. Asian boy Will, I heard if you create an LLC for your store in Wyoming, when you start to generate sales, you can get no taxes. Not no taxes. I don't really know their tax laws. You're still going to get taxed. Like, you can't avoid taxes. You can't do that. There might be no like state income tax. I think that's what it is. But there's no way you just can't pay taxes. That's not the way America works. But yeah. All right, guys. Do you like this? Give me one. Give me one. Give me one. I'll be live again tomorrow as well. I don't know why the link to my Facebook group isn't working. The Facebook group is called eCommerce Assassins. Just go to my YouTube channel, go to the About section, and you'll find the link to it there. Just keep in mind, this is like that's not your ticket for one-on-one coaching. Okay, so it's not a way for you to say, hey, can you look at my ads and tell me exactly what to do and go into my ad account, because I have a lot of people messaging me asking me to do that. The group is basically to incite some kind of community where you guys can talk back and forth, and I'll be in there answering questions when I can. All right, it's a free group. Remember that. All right, last question here. Mohammed, do you use funnels or target directly to cold audience and send them to product pages? So I've been migrating most of my stuff strictly to ClickFunnels, and I'm using Shopify for the backend support, right? But I generated about 1.5 million just using direct to Shopify pages. So it's not to say it doesn't work, but with ClickFunnels, I've basically like almost tripled my conversion rate. So there's no reason not to move over there. Lyra, waiting for your course. Yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. I'll make a course. You guys want to see some e-commerce funnel course? No one's really doing that. Or I think there's a few, but you know, if I make something, there's an app called Nimble. Advanced courses and stuff. Let me know in the group. Make sure you join the group. If you haven't yet, go to the About section in my YouTube profile and join my Facebook group. Let me know what you guys want to see in it. Like I said, I spent over $50,000 going to masterminds, events, buying courses, all that kind of stuff. So if that's something you guys want to see, I guarantee you it's not going to be like a $197 course. It's going to be expensive, probably like $997. because there's going to be a lot of content that goes into that. But if you guys want to see it, I'll build it out. So let me know. All right, everyone good? Cool, man. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, all right? Around, let's see, what time is it? Hopefully around 3:30 p.m. Eastern, but I'll pop a link in the YouTube group if when I'm going live. So make sure you guys join, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Hopefully that helped today. Peace.